Welcome back in, everybody. Golf Talk Radio with Mike and Billy. So glad you guys are with us. We're in our new digs here in the Central Coast and broadcasting out over the Golf Talk Radio Network. Glad you guys have joined us. We've got Sundale Country Club as a partner of ours. Don't forget to check them out online at sundalecountryclub.com, 661-831-5224. We're going to go straight to our first interview here.
Well, we have the honor of having Dr. Joseph Parent, best-selling author of Zen Golf, Zen Putting, The Art of Mental Game, How to Make Every Putt, and he's even a tennis expert, and I believe he just wrote a brand new book on the best diet ever. Dr. Joe, are you with us, sir?
Good morning. How are you guys?
We're so great. We're in a new studio, so we're trying to figure all this stuff out, but it's exciting. It's like starting all over again, you know? So
I understand.
I'm enjoying it, and I get the pleasure of talking with you. So thank you for taking the time. Of all the stuff you've done and all the books you've written, we could probably spend 3 hours talking with you. So let's make it fun and seamless here. So before we jump into some of these questions that I have for you, could you tell the listeners a little bit about, I gave them your bio and ran off your whole bio, but a little bit about you that you'd like to share, where you hail from, anything about your family, just so they get to know you better, anything you're willing to share?
Well, I grew up in New Jersey and left pretty much as soon as I could when I went to college at Cornell, and then really enjoyed the University of Colorado, where I got my PhD, and moved to Ojai and Santa Barbara area in 1989. And it's hard to leave once you get out here, you know.
It truly, boy, I could appreciate that. And you are in one of the most beautiful places on the planet. And last week, I know you were at Torrey Pines, and it was quite an event. It was an amazing finish. It went 6 extra holes the next day. Jason Day, the champion, but it seems like the entire story all week long, of course, was Tiger's comeback. So
yes,
I would
right.
love to know your thought, and which is great. It is a huge story. There were some issues about it. He was always, no matter where he was, every shot he hit was on TV. We can understand that because the world is really intrigued about him and the legend that he is and his comeback. What do you think about his comeback, and what do you think he needs to focus on mentally, if you have a thought on that?
Well, I don't have a problem with showing all of his shots on TV as long as you're also showing all the leader's shots, and his don't have to be in real time. I think that's what causes the problems on the TV broadcast. But I was fortunate enough to be in the media room with the interviews, and everybody was asking him about his swing and his back. And I asked him, what have you been able to do for your mental game preparation? And he said he was pretty excited about being able to visualize shots when he was playing at home and work on the shots that he knew he was going to have to play at the tournament. Now, I was interviewed on Outside the Lines, I think it was 2010, when he was making his comeback after the scandal. And they asked me my prediction, and I said, well, I think tee to green, he'll find a way to get it around. But on the greens and around the greens, if you don't have focus and peace of mind, you're not going to be able to do it. And I was on the interview with Curtis Strange, and he said, I couldn't agree with his accent is wonderful. I couldn't agree with the good Dr. Moore. And he said when he was going through his divorce, he could get around the golf course, but he had no feel for the putter. And that is exactly what happened to Tiger. And he was just a shadow of his former self around the greens and putting. I was very encouraged. This tournament, he saved his scores by his short game and his putting. It looked like the Tiger of old, and that's something that you can be excited about because he'll figure out a way. He never was good at hitting fairways, but he'll figure out a way to keep it a little more on the planet and give himself a few more looks.
Not only was so he must be in a peace of mind now, like you said, because not only did he save his game, it was phenomenal how he saved his game and scores with that short game. I mean, it looked. I mean, it's not just your typical way around that golf course. He pulled things off like he used to. His putting was great, but some of the flop shots he hit were just incredible. It's no secret, Doc, that the golf is both physical and mental, and probably no one knows that more than you do. But most golfers don't understand or appreciate the importance of the mental side. They seem to lose focus. They seem to not have confidence. What's going on, and why? Why aren't people taking this as serious as they should?
I like to say that the game is 90% mental and 10% mental.
I love that.
And that's because your mind runs every swing that you make. So I do have people who say, oh, yeah, I heard what you do. And when I get my physical game together, then I'm going to be ready to work with you on the mental game. And it's absolutely the other way around. The first thing you need to do is get your mental game sorted out, because if you have mental interference of trying to help a shot that you don't trust your swing or prevent going someplace that you're worried about ending up, you won't even see your real swing. You'll just see compensations and interference. So you can't even work on your game until you really can commit to a shot, make a free swing toward your target, and then you'll see the patterns that you hit, and then you can learn about your game.
And not only
the biggest interference that I encounter from beginners to the best pros, and it's the first question VJ asked me when I started working with him, and he was already in the top 10 in the world. He said, I played these courses, I know where the bad places are. How do I not think about that? And worry about results is the number one source of interference.
You know what, Doc, that's so interesting is I have a lot of people when we're doing lessons that mention when they play a golf course for the first time, if they've never stepped on the course, they usually play it better.
They don't know where the problems are.
They don't, like you said, they don't know where the problems are. They go out and they go out the second time and they're like, oh, I got this course. I got it. But then they know where the problems are.
They know where the water is.
They know where the water is, and it's a whole different animal.
Well, it's so easy for you to say, and especially you're the doctor at this, and it's easy to say that's we need to get our minds first, and a lot of people, it's just hard for some to do. I think it would work on the contrary. If people start working on their physical game without that mental strength, it could hurt their mental strength, because you're going to get, you lose confidence and frustration, and I think it could be a domino effect backwards. So are there tips that you can share? I know there's Zen Golf Mastering the Mental Game, one of the best-selling books, that there's probably tips in there, but are there some that you can share with our listeners? I recently just started coming back to golf after surgery, and I'm having a hard time recently to focus on and block out distractions. I mean, my work's flying through my mind. The different, am I going to hurt myself on this swing just going through my mind? Yeah. So how do you get out of your own way and get to that positive thought?
And that's really what Zen Golf is about, and that is getting out of your own way to get the most out of your ability. So what I have as a way to do that, a lot of this is what the difference is in what I teach and what's presented in Zen Golf and a lot of other sports psychologists, because they'll say, look, just clear your mind and stay in the present and focus on your target.
Right.
Yeah, that's
easy
fine to say.
So easy to say.
Well, what if you can't?
Yeah.
And they say, well, just will yourself to do it. I don't think that works for everybody, and for only a select few. So I want to give you a path to get there. So the path is recognition and undoing. You have to recognize what the interference is. So the interference is, as I said, the first one is worry about results, seeing the bad places where it might end up. So the remedy for that is give yourself room to play. Give yourself plenty of room. Don't shoot at a tuck pin. Aim more for the middle of the green, and then just say, it's an approach shot. It's a not stuff it in the hole shot. That's why they call it your approach shot. So on your target, don't aim at the rough and think that you have to draw it. Then you hit what I call the dreaded straight ball. So always give yourself plenty of room to play. And if you're uncomfortable over the shot, change clubs. Nobody says that just because it says 4 on the scorecard means you have to hit the green in 2. For a lot of amateurs, that's out of the question. Hit the club you're most comfortable swinging to a spot that gives you the easiest next shot.
So it really comes down to that. That's really you're talking about course management, huh?
And then
playing the game.
Then you'll be more comfortable. As far as the other thoughts, the other distractions, you can leave them in the locker room. I have my pros, because they have a lot on their mind. I have them take a little Tupperware type container and leave it in their locker. And before they go out, I say, leave all the thoughts about your family, your work, your finances. Leave it all in the locker room in the box, and say, you can't help me when I'm on the golf course. and I can't do anything about you when I'm on the golf course, so I'll take care of you when I get back. Wow. And then when you're playing and any of those thoughts show up, say, go back to the locker room. I'll take care of you later. I got to play golf right now. And it has some humor to it, and it clears your mind.
This is great. Joining us is Dr. Joseph Parent, best-selling author. We're talking about the mental side of the game and the importance of it. And one of his key things is you should get a very clear mental side of your game before you start worrying about your golf swing and working on swing fundamentals. Get your brain fundamentals going first. I couldn't agree more. And it makes total sense because I enjoyed myself the other day. I playing with my best friend. There was no pressure. We just went out. It was a beautiful golf course amongst the vineyards. And we just stopped and looked around and just kind of hit at it with not much thinking. Which was thinking about all the other stuff in our lives, So Mike's such a busy guy. I used to call him BizHub because his phone would go off. He had a fax machine in the cart. He's just doing biz. I mean, I've never seen so. It was unbelievable, and he's put that stuff away. So.
I've managed, Doctor. I've managed to change myself. I put the stuff away now. I don't take it with me. I love the box. I'm going to use that.
That's great.
If you want more tips to how to get out of your own way, get the book Zen Golf Mastering the Mental Game. Doc, one of your books, and this I've seen you on the putting green. You were doing a clinic, which was awesome. But the title intrigues me and Mike too. How to Make Every Putt. I mean, yep. Really? Come on, right. Doc. Tell us, man. What do you? It didn't happen.
Well, what I do, I separate. It's a new definition. Okay, the ball going in the hole is holing a putt or sinking a putt. Getting it started just the way you wanted to, you made your putt. You're not allowed to carry the ball and put it in the hole. You're not allowed to put your putter behind it and shovel it all the way in. All you can do is give it a good start. And after it starts rolling, all you can do is cheer for it or root for it, right?
Exactly. So
your job is to make the best handoff you can to the ball, and then it's the ball's job to find the hole. If you get all uptight about missing the hole, the PGA Tour average from 8 feet is 50%. How would you feel if you said, you miss half your putts from 8 feet? Geez, that sounds terrible. but if you say, you know what, I make all of my putts and this percentage goes in, well, that sounds pretty good.
It really does.
One of my players shot his first 63 on the PGA Tour in an opening round at the Honda Classic, and he called me up and he said, Doc, I made 16 out of 18 of my first putts, and I holed 9 of them.
Wow, well said.
He'd separate that out.
That's awesome.
What if he'd said, I made 9 putts and I missed 9? That doesn't sound so good. I made 16 out of 18. That sounds great. So all you can do is if you get it started on the pace you want, at the speed you want, on the line you want, you made your putt. Then you root for it.
It's a great way to look at it because you're just doing it. You're
giving the pressure off of you.
And I tell my kids it's okay to miss. When I was talking about missing the hole, I'm not making, So I said it's okay to miss it close, but just give it your best effort. And I'm talking to little kids about this. So it's almost the same thing he's saying. If you execute what you're planning on executing, you pick your line. That's all you can do. Hit the speed. You hit the club face in the right spot. You've made your putt.
That's right. That's the definition.
That's so great. Exactly. Now, I know you asked, and we only have a few more minutes, so you asked to talk about it. I'm personally interested in this, but your brand new book about losing some weight. I think it's. Could you tell me the title? I think we have the title written down. What's the title? The best diet book ever.
For some fun, we called it the best diet book ever.
Yeah, it's awesome. So tell us about it real quick.
The Zen of Losing Weight. It's the best diet book ever because it's not a diet book. There's no diet. You can eat whatever you want. It uses the Zen Golf principles to help you to make better choices and recognize the consequences. If you want to shoot at a tuck pin, you got to be able to accept that you're going to be in some bad places. You want to eat that chocolate sundae, you got to understand that you're going to gain weight. So what this does is it's instead of the usual punishing approach, this presents an approach on empowerment and positive choice instead of deprivation and imprisonment like a diet program. So there are no menus or recipes, no rules or restrictions, but it gives you tools to change your relationship to food and eating, and it gives you exercises so you'll know what it'll feel like if you lose weight, so you get a positive motivation rather than a negative motivation. And it's pretty painless. And you get to make choices. You have to just ask, is this worth the calories?
Yes.
And there are lots of tips and techniques that help you to deal with cravings and to deal with habits, and change your habits so that it makes it easier to accomplish what your goals are for losing weight. So it's called The Best Diet Book Ever.
That's so good.
And you can get it on Amazon. I also recorded the audio. It's in digital, in print, and in audio. And just look on Amazon for The Best Diet Book Ever.
Dr. Joseph Parent, can't thank you enough. We hope we get you back on. There's a lot more things to ask you. Plus, I want to know if you ever get upset about anything. So when you come back on, we're going to know what frustrates you and if there is such a thing. But thank you for your time, Dr. Joe. We appreciate it more than you know. And have a great rest of your day. Make every bite.
Sure, let's do it again soon.
All right, boss.
And you can make every putt.
You can make every bite, too. Every bite you make, you can make the choice.
That's right.
Thanks, buddy.
Thank you, Dr. Parent.
Take care, guys.
You too.
Bye-bye.
Have a great day.
Bye-bye. All right, so that was Dr. Parent, best-selling author. And great to have him as our first guest in the new studio here on Golf Talk Radio with Mike and Billy on the Golf Talk Radio Network. Don't forget, check out healthiq.com. Find out what you can qualify for today. Use the code GolfTalk, and they'll throw you some great offers there for you guys that are looking for life insurance, for living the healthy lifestyle.
We come back in, Mike, guess what?
What?
We're going to get a live report from the Waste Management Phoenix Open.
Sounds awesome. So we'll be right back. Golf Talk Radio with Mike and Billy right here on the Golf Talk Radio Network. Stay with us.